Yo,
Hi.
you know there is another way I can help you, right?
How?
8,000. And nothing less.
Can you guarantee me it'll work?
Of course. We didn't see my daughter at the ceremony. She's got the gift.
I'll find the money.
All right, meet here tomorrow at 3. Make sure to bring something that belongs to...
The movie opens with a woman carefully moving through a sugarcane field at night. A patrolman catches her. She turns out to be Tempe, a spirit medium living among the squatters. The landowner, Don Vincente, ties her up and ignores her desperate warnings. He performs a ritual to pull a dangerous spirit called the Whistler into her body. He cuts her tongue with a bone dagger, and she gets possessed on the spot. Vincente walks her through the fields with a jute bag over her head, only to find she's torn through it and disappeared. Then, he hears an eerie whistling coming from the fields. Vincente panics and runs. He stops in a clearing to check if anything followed him. A dark figure launches at him and throws him off his horse. The scene cuts to Nicole and Sebastian driving through those same sugarcane fields. Nicole stops the car and gets out. Ash is falling from the sky, and it's bothering her. She calls it a bad omen. Sebastian tells her it's just farmers burning sugarcane for harvest. He gently brings up how rough the past 2 years have been since their daughter Daniela died, and asks Nicole to hold it together for a few days while he's there for his grieving family. Sebastian meets his mother Isabella, and it's an emotional reunion. Nicole gives her condolences, and Isabella says at least they came, which hints at some tension under the surface. Nicole notices a woman named Petra pressing seeds onto Vicente's closed eyes, and later chanting strange words outside during the funeral procession. Vicente is buried. Back at the house, Isabella questions why Sebastian's visit is so short. He explains he only has 5 days off, and he and Nicole tell her their plan to sell the land and move her to Austin. Isabella refuses. Things get more complicated when they bring up the squatters, a group called the Venezuelan and who have taken over part of the property, practice witchcraft, and can't be legally removed because Vicente refused to pay a government bribe and died before the situation was resolved. That night, a possessed Tempe sweeps around the house. Nicole gets woken up by the family dog, Chano, goes outside, watches a video of Daniela, and lights candles for her in the family church. She spots Petra burning a hay figure in the yard and chanting. Petra is startled to see her and tells Nicole to get inside right away. She's not safe out here. On her way back, Nicole hears a whistle coming from the sugarcane fields. Chano sprints toward the sound. Nicole nervously follows, and a possessed Tempe watches from the shadows. A crow suddenly dives at Nicole, and she runs back to the house without Chano. The next morning, Nicole asks Petra about Chano, saying he never came back. Petra brushes it off. Inside, Isabella catches Nicole reading a book about the Marieli and Sarah's cult and throws it out, saying she warned Vicente to stay away from that witchcraft. When Nicole tries to bring up the land sale again to reassure her, Isabella says she held on to the land for Sebastian and his future children. Nicole gets emotional and admits she doesn't want another child. Isabella understands her grief and apologizes. While searching for Chano, Nicole crosses a bridge into the squatters' territory and finds shrines and idols scattered around. She hides and watches as they carry out a riverside ritual. A spirit is called into a girl who starts convulsing and changing. Then, the possessed girl looks straight at Nicole and calls out, "Mommy," in Daniela's voice. Nicole freezes. The squatters spot her and chase after her. She runs. Meanwhile, Sebastian finds 5 cows missing and suspects the squatters. A worker named Awa points out that Vicente was found with strange Jaguar-like wounds before he died, and a jaguar could also explain the missing cattle. When Sebastian suggests the squatters might have killed his father, Awa says he simply fell off his horse. Sebastian pushes back, pointing out that his father was a 3-time rodeo champion and no horse could have done that to him. Before they can argue further, Sebastian sees Nicole's horse coming back without her. He goes out to find her and tracks her down with a floodlit truck just before dark. That evening, Sebastian confronts Isabella about the missing cattle and the growing threat from the squatters. Nicole suggests it might be one of their own workers, but Isabella shuts it down, saying their workers are family. That night, Nicole confronts Petra about being a Mavielli and Sarah, the seeds on Vicente's eyes, and the late-night rituals. Petra admits she follows Maria Lianza, the spirit queen who fills the space left by God. This lands with Nicole. She tells Petra that God left her too, and she begs Petra to set up a ceremony so she can reach Daniela. Petra refuses. She explains that an evil spirit called the Whistler is loose, and any ceremony right now is too dangerous. She also tells Nicole that the further away the whistle sounds, the closer the Whistler actually is. She presses a protective charm into Nicole's hand and tells her to stay home. Nicole tells Sebastian she thinks Daniela is trying to reach her. He shuts it down completely. He tells her he needs her present and that he can't hold it together without her. Meanwhile, two farmhands hear the whistle out in the fields. One of them knows the rule: move toward the sound, not away from it. His partner doesn't believe him and walks the wrong way. The Whistler, still in Tempe's body, attacks him. Nicole pulls the Muriel Woman in Cirrus book out of the trash and visits the squatters, who are holding a funeral for one of the Whistler's victims. Their chief thinks she's there to have them removed, but softens when she explains the real reason she came. He tells her ceremonies are not possible right now. Tempe, their spirit medium, has gone missing, and with the Whistler loose, it could jump into whoever leads a ritual. He tells her to accept her loss. Nicole breaks down and tells him what really happened. Daniela said she felt sick that morning. Nicole didn't believe her and sent her to school anyway, then sent a babysitter to pick her up instead of going herself. They crashed. Daniela died scared and angry. Nicole needs a chance to make it right. The chief still says no, but as Nicole turns to leave, a man named Laureano quietly comes up to her and offers a private ceremony through his gifted daughter for $8,000. Nicole agrees. She's told to come alone the next day at 3, bring something of Danielle's, and tell no one. Sebastian finds Chano dead in a tree, gutted open. A worker named Dario tells him Vicente was found in the exact same condition. Mail is now sure the squatters are behind it. At dinner, he confronts Isabella. She knew Vicente was found with his insides torn out and said nothing, because she knew Sebastian would never have let her stay if he'd known how dangerous it was. The argument gets heated. Isabella blames Sebastian for leaving the family behind and letting them survive Venezuela's collapse on their own, saying only his father's death was enough to bring him back. Petra tells Nicole the story of the Whistler. He was a dark-hearted boy who killed his own father, gutted him, and brought the remains home for his mother to cook. The townspeople hanged him, beat him, and burned him. He never cried. He just whistled. His spirit has been roaming ever since, looking for a body to keep hunting through, and it was the squatters themselves who called him up, hoping to drive the landowners away. Now, nobody is safe until the spirit is gone. The next day, Sebastian cuts the squatters' illegal electricity connection. Nicola slips away for the ceremony. She meets a young girl named Gracie, Laureano's daughter. Gracie is cheerful and excited to practice her English, and mentions that they're leaving for the US tomorrow to find her mother. But when Nicole asks about the ceremony, Gracie casually mentions this will only be her 3rd time doing it. Nicole is visibly unsettled. Back at the cattle ranch, Owl hears whistling and finds a cow soaked in blood. He grabs his machete and locks himself inside an enclosure. The Whistler attacks from behind. Owl manages to cut its hand before the spirit overpowers him and tears him apart. At the cave, Laureano starts the ritual. Gracie slashes her own tongue and immediately starts convulsing. At the same time, Petra finds the injured Whistler crawling through the grass, still in Tempe's body, and hacks at it with a machete until the spirit lets go of Tempe. Petra takes the bone dagger from Tempe's hand. Tempe dies from her wounds. Back in the cave, Danielle's spirit takes over Gracie. Nicole is overwhelmed, but Daniela suddenly says something is wrong and that something is coming fast. Gracie's eyes go completely black. The candles go out. Gracie disappears. The whistle echoes through the cave. The Whistler, now inside Gracie's body, attacks and kills Laureano. Nicole runs for her life. She finds the bridge destroyed, but crosses the river on foot. Petra leads Sebastian to a poet's torn-up body. Daria wants revenge and blames the squatters. Sebastian stops him and tells Dario that revenge is already coming. Sebastian grabs his guns and tells Isabella his plan: burn the cane fields and let the fire reach the squatters' huts, leaving no trace back to him. He gives Isabella a gun and tells her to be ready. Nicole tries to stop him. She saw the Whistler possess Gracie and kill Laureano with her own eyes. Sebastian explodes when he finds out she secretly went to the ceremony to contact Daniela. He tells her Daniela is dead and to deal with it, then walks out. Nicole goes to Isabella and tells her everything. Isabella tells her she was a good mother and needs to stop punishing herself. As the fields burn, the cattle stampede straight into the house. Then the whistle sounds. Nicole says they have to move toward it. Outside, Nicole heads for the car while Isabella stops to look at something and gets attacked. Her blood sprays across the headlights. She's gone. Nicole is now being hunted. She finds Petra, who has the bone dagger, and the whole story comes out. It was Vicente who asked Petra to help scare the squatters off. Petra is the one who summoned the Whistler. She thought burning Tempe's body ended it, but that body was actually Gracie's mother. The spirit had already moved on by then. Nicole realizes her own ceremony is what pulled the Whistler into Gracie. Petra says the only way to stop it is to kill the body it's using. Nicole refuses. She suggests luring the Whistler into herself instead. Sebastian hears the whistle and accidentally shoots Daria while trying to carry him to safety. The Whistler attacks them both. Sebastian ends up strung from the same tree as the spirit's other victims, alive, barely hanging on. Petra gets Nicole ready for the ritual, warning her that the Whistler will try to trick her and she cannot break. The moment fire touches the bone dagger, the spirit will come for it. Nicole lights a figure and holds flame to the dagger. The Whistler abandons Sebastian and comes straight for her. The squatters find the Whistler's tree and are horrified to see how many people are hanging from its branches. Nicole lures it into the cattle panels. Petra traps it by closing the gates on both sides. But as Petra moves in to burn it with alcohol, Nicole stops her because Gracie is still inside. Nicole shoves Petra away, but Petra stumbles toward the Whistler, who grabs her and snaps her neck. Sebastian arrives with a gun pointed at Gracie's body, blaming it for his parents' deaths. Nicole begs him to stop. She starts chanting to pull Gracie free from the Whistler's hold. The squatters join in. The Whistler thrashes hard. Nicole pulls away, locks herself in a room, sets it on fire, and cuts herself with the bone dagger. The Whistler leaves Gracie and jumps into Nicole. The squatters free Gracie. Sebastian drags an unconscious Nicole out of the burning room. Gracie kneels beside her and chants. The squatters join in. Nicole drifts into the space between and finds Daniela. She tells her not to be sad. Nicole breaks down and apologizes for not coming to pick her up. Daniela says she was never angry. She could never be mad at her mother. They tell each other they love one another. Daniela asks her to take care of Papa. Then Nicole is pulled back. The scene shifts to a truck rolling through the sugarcane fields. Nicole and Gracie are riding inside. Nicole's burn scars are visible. They stop at the bridge where Sebastian, now on good terms with the squatters, is working to rebuild what he destroyed. It's a quiet, hopeful moment. Nicole is pregnant and has brought food for everyone. Then the film shifts to two boys pushing a girl into a blood oath to join their group. She agrees and barely flinches at the small cut, until we see she's holding the bone dagger. She's about to make the cut, and the screen goes dark. The Whistler's whistle plays one more time. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. Tell us in comment how you like the explanation. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Real Dreams Recaps.